Friday, April 3rd, 5:33 p.m. New York time. Welcome back, investors, to Winning Wall Street's Money. If you don't know, it's a holiday in the United States. Financial markets are closed. So it was a short trading week. It was just Monday through Thursday for the new month of April and the second quarter of the year. This month, we have quarter earnings for the first quarter of the year. In your opinion, you're a living, breathing person. You are right, have an opinion. So the first quarter of the year, from January to the end of March, the United States had some extreme snowstorms, really above average durations for the weather. Yep, that interfered with the financial markets, businesses. We also have war. We also have tariffs. So in your opinion, do you think the companies are going to meet their expectations on earnings? Or are they going to revise earnings, revise them down, and then come out and beat those by a few pennies? Well, I'm anticipating the markets to be not as good as the first quarter of last year. You also have the effect of what? Higher energy prices, higher insurance. Yep. They're all taking a toll on companies. So since we're in the new month, let's just look at the monthly charts first, and then we'll go down just to identify, have we taken out last month's candle? Are we in a retracement? What's the current situation? Well, here we are, the S&P 500. We're inside that big red bearish candle. That made the new low for the year. So currently, the S&P 500 is in a decline, trending down. Lower highs, lower lows. The NASDAQ 100 as well. The trend is down. Lower lows, lower highs. Dow Jones Industrial, same thing. Trend is down. Lower lows, lower highs. The Dow Transports. Inside candle for a month. Last month, we made a lower high, lower low. The trend is down. Even though we did not make a new low for the year, the trend is down. Trends don't lie. Dow Jones Utilities. Last month, we made that new high and a higher low. The trend is up. Inside candle for the month, the Dow Utilities. And we'll take it to that last index, the Russell 2000. Inside candle for the month, and the trend is down. So looking at all these markets, the only one that's trending up is the Dow Utilities. All the other ones are bearish, trending down. I'm not buying the dips. They look like they will roll over some more. I don't see any sweet spots here in the higher time frame to take an entry for buying. Let's scale down to a lower time frame. The weekly. This week. Again, it's not a full trading week because we only are open Monday through Thursday. So take that account. Maybe some people only participated half a day too on Thursday. Not helping the economy. 5-year chart. Each candle's a week. S&P 500. Look at that. We closed green. Yep, we closed higher from the open of the week. That's the big soundbite the media uses. But factually, we still made a lower high, lower low. The trend is down. We did not take out the high of last week. So the degenerates in the media outlets and the people that repeat that message fool people that don't want to look at the charts and stay in price action. I'm not buying here yet. Nope. Again, we made a new low for the year this past week, and we did not take out the high of last week. The only thing is we closed above the close of that red candle. Okay, that's impressive. we have not reversed yet. Weekly chart, NASDAQ 100. Same thing. We closed green above the close of that red candle, but we didn't take out the high of that red candle. What we did was make a new low for the year, lower high. So the trend is down. And this red zone I labeled here is extremely bearish zone. I'm looking for a test in here. It's a setup. I'm looking for a test for the opportunity for a bearish trade. This is a key zone off the weekly candles. Massive consolidation here. We had that breakdown, that red candle, making that new low, breaking below that swing point. And then that red candle, big impulse move down, lower high, lower low. So both of those red candles, big bearish bodies. And what? We had buyers step in for that weekly candle. If you don't know, I'll share with you again. The first few days of this month, which are already over, and the last few days of last month was window dressing and dollar cost average investing for people that participate in making contributions. That's a huge amount of money that's inflowing for long-term investors, even in bad economies, even when markets are going down. There are people that still participate. So again, that's a short-term pump. Looking for that bearish opportunity. Dow Jones weekly. New low for the year. We closed above the close of that red body. Again, made a lower low, taking out that low of last week. And we made a high above last week. Yep. So this, to me, is a key zone, a key level. And look what it did. See this green zone? High of those prior years. Broke above it. Testing it now. Makes sense. There's buyers there for multiple reasons. We have buyers here on a technical basis for charting. Again, we have buyers because what? Windows dressing, long-term investing employees. So if we have a breakout to the upside, I'm looking for a pullback on here on weakness for a trade idea for buying. This may be a wild turn occurs. And we have imbalance area here. Gonna label that because it is a bearish imbalance area. There we go. The Dow transports. Yeah, big green body. Nice. Took off like a rocket ship. Impulse move. And we have here a bearish zone for potential setup for trading bearish. Gonna label that big body too. It's almost a solid body. Label midpoint. These are key levels. Looking to retest sometime down the road and see if there's trade ideas off those. Okay, Dow Utilities. So now we're in that bearish zone. Again, we had that yellow candle, inside candle there. And then that week after that, huge red candle, making that new high for the year. And then selling off that same week. So again, now we're in that zone. Bearish setup. And I'm looking for the signal for a trade idea to trade bearish. And the Russell 2000. New low for the week. Nice. We closed above these three red bodies, but we didn't take out that high of that prior one. Yep. We'll take it down to the daily. So these gaps, most of these have not even been tested yet. Again, when they're filled, I'll be removing the lines. This is severe, big concern on the downside. So during the week, we had this gap here. That was Wednesday. Thursday, we gapped up. And Friday, we went lower, filling that gap. That gap is now filled. Remember, gaps get filled often. Keyword often get filled. Don't know when. Gaps have not even been filled yet. We might be going down there this year. If you've been following me for years, you understand the situation with Nike, how I was showing that. So since we filled this gap here, we also made a trend reversal. We closed Friday lower high, lower low. The trend is down on the S&P 500 on multiple levels. We tested midpoint of this big green candle, and buyers stepped in there, but the trend is still down. NASDAQ 100, same thing. We filled that gap and went to midpoint. Buyers stepped in there. Trend is still down, lower high, lower low. Dow Jones Transports, again, same thing. We had that big green body, midpoint tested it, and the trend's still down. Dow's Transports, the trend, look at that, higher high, higher low. Tested the gap and filled it. Midpoint in that big red candle, key zone. And we have a imbalance area here that's been tested with that big wick. So it may not be valid anymore. Let me short it. Dow Utilities. Yep. Higher high, high low. Trend is up. Going up a weakness too. And the Russell 2000. Trend reverse. Lower high, lower low. Look at the same thing, midpoint. Nice, sweet setups for these technical signals. Thank you as always, spending just a little bit of time with me. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching.